this squeaky chair. I don't want to get another one, I'm so tired. Oh, that doesn't even taste good in the morning. This hoodie makes my arms look so long. Come here. Hello, welcome. My name is Gusty. And new set, look at that, new angle, new everything. This set does not require natural lighting, and I'll tell you why that's a good thing right now. So, my most popular video was the Montero album ranking, where I ranked every song. So I thought, hey, why not do another one? Squid Game! So today I will be ranking every Squid Game episode. I have a list right here. It's 1 through 9, obviously. There are only 9 episodes. This is where it gets crazy. So in the Montero video, I listened to every song before I ranked them, which is exactly what I'll be doing here. Before I rank every episode, I will be watching every episode. For those of you who caught on already, that's around 9 hours of content that I have to consume in one day, which is why natural lighting is a burden, because you just see the window get darker as you would not be able to detect my face as the video goes by. But alas, we don't need natural lighting. I will gather my assessment of the episode and then I'll put it down on this list, and I will not be able to move them until I ranked all of them, where I have a secondary list where I can move them around according to how I feel they differ compared to others. Well, no time like the present. Let's begin. So I watched the first episode and I immediately am realizing there's going to be a lot more watching than there is recording. But I'm okay with that. Episode 1, Red Light, Green Light. The most popular episode, I'd say. Definitely the most memed episode. Where to put the first episode? I am ranking these in order. Last time I ranked the Montero album backwards because I always try and leave the most suspense and hype and, in my opinion, best ones for last. So that's not to say the final episodes might be like 1, 2, 3. I feel like the timing for establishing our main character was fine. I definitely think there were some gradual build-ups to how much of a jerk this guy is. Oh god, what's the Train to Busan guy's name? Don't hate me. His whole scene with the game, probably like the perfect game to get our protagonist into Squid Game. But I do agree with the memes. I do want to see how that guy approached Gusty. That would be funny. It is the first episode, so some characters are gonna get a little more screen time than others. I'm referencing like Sabyok and Ali. Ali only gets like 1 scene. Everything was perfect. That doll, wherever they found that doll, I know that's a real doll that they found somewhere. They didn't make it for the show. That is like the perfect prop. And how the old man's playing along to Red Light, Green Light, where it makes you think, oh my god, this guy is amazing. He's having a dementia spike. But in reality, he already knows this game and he's just doing it for fun because he knows he won't be eliminated. I did notice that little editing choice where he didn't get outlined by the robot. It was very slight, but if you go back, robot like the doll, it was very slight, but if you go back, he's not outlined at all. So he's not even registered to get shot. I definitely think most of us were expecting something gruesome when the players break the rules, but I don't think half of us could have predicted a slaughter of around half the players right then and there. And I also loved how it ended, where it didn't end with the characters coming back to the room and being like, oh god, what was that? It ended with the game ending. It was like, alright, game's up, episode's over. You don't even get to see where they go next. That's for the next episode. I like that suspense. And the final shot of the whole island, just securing your helplessness, like, oh my god. Really good episode. I would rank it Red Light, Green Light going at number 4. Red Light, Green Light, number 4. Let's continue. Episode 2, Hell. This was a really good episode too. I believe all these are good episodes. But again, this is a ranking I do have to compare. You know, not coincidentally, the episode of the title being Hell and the first shot being of fire. Not only that, but people being burned in that fire, symbolizing, you know, death, fire, hell. You get it. The majority vote scene. This scene was really telling and I kind of liked it. Sang-woo being the person to bring up the majority clause and say, if we all agree to leave, then we can leave. You know, just a little flex on everybody else for his intelligence. Yet when it comes time to actually decide, he votes yes to keep playing, showing you how there's more going on to him. Yeah, he can be smart and logical, but this dude is seriously in it for the money. He does not care. Oh, what's her name? The annoying girl. Duxu's lady. not really. But how she was the first one to start pleading her life. Please, please let me out. And then voting yes. And when being called out, immediately was like, it's... And then voted yes to keep playing, showing you that basically her entire character is just lying and flip-flopping to get her way. The old man voting no was a complete shock. Later on, you do find out that that's his way of kind of easing his conscience because everyone does come back. But I don't know if I agree with that, because in that episode when they're all out, the old man goes to find Gi-hun and literally like persuades him to come back. Now, not fully, as we know, because his mother suffering from diabetes is inevitably what gets him to go. But the dude literally meets this guy and is like, it's much worse out here than it is in there. I'm going back. While also still forwarding the notion that he's just this innocent old man. This episode just highlights how life can actually be hell on Earth. We were the luckiest species to get great evolutionary aspects and an intelligence like no other, and yet we use it to just make it hell for everyone else. I love humans, man, but I've been saving this detail for the last. I saw some comparisons already, but I'm not going to take credit for all this realization. The internet did help me with this. But what happens to them on the outside of the game reflects how they die on the inside of the game. Gi-hun swears on his mother's life to try and, you know, be free from Se-byuk. And in the end, his mother dies. Se-byuk threatening a scammer by holding a knife to his neck, and then in the end dying from getting stabbed in the neck. Sang-woo almost killing himself in the bathtub, and then he dies by killing himself in the final game. Deok-soo jumping off the bridge to, you know, not get brutally murdered by the thugs. He dies by getting, what would you call that? I'm just gonna say getting screwed over. Getting screwed over by the annoying girl, falling off the bridge, and Ali took the money, which was rightfully his, in my opinion, from his boss, and died from Sang-woo taking his marbles, leading to him getting shot. I was gonna put this episode at number 6, but due to all those parallels of how they died, I'm gonna put it right under red light, green light. It's going at number 5. Hell, going at number 5. Next up. Episode 3. What did I just step on? Episode 3. The Man with the Umbrella. A Man with the Umbrella. Whatever. This one I'd say is probably one of the more tamer episodes. No main characters get killed. I mean, I'm not expecting anyone to die there because you still have to build up these characters, these personalities for you to get attached to them. I understand that. This one focused more on the detective. This episode sprung the beginning of the detective's undying cell phone. Detective straight up murders a dude on like day 2 of the investigation. So yeah. Sang-woo throughout this entire episode does not look happy, especially at the start when they're beginning their group, because he knows he's gonna have to betray all his team members at the end. And the betrayal starts right off the bat with him knowing what the game was and still not telling anybody, leaving Gi-hun to choose the umbrella, which is the hardest shape. The game was suspenseful. That's the thing. This game, no one really died in it, but I feel like it was just suspense after suspense. Because in this game, you know the stakes. You know people gonna die. And I feel like this game definitely highlights that they really don't care if you cheat. It's not really about equality at all. It's solely about entertainment. If it was about equality, they wouldn't let the annoying girl light her sewing needle on fire so she can cut the shape out quicker. Because I refuse to believe that no one saw her. Yeah, okay, maybe the guards didn't see her, maybe, but there are cameras everywhere. The episode ended well too. I feel like so far they're like 3 for 3 for cliffhangers, but this one was, I feel like, just a standard episode. It doesn't really stand out, even though it can arguably be the second most popular episode, just from the memes I've seen, because of the honeycomb. It's just a good format. On the list? I don't know. I don't know. My first thought was number 8, but I'm trying to like rationalize if there's anything in this episode that really stood out to me. It did humanize the guards a little bit by unmasking the superior and it just being a kid, like probably someone around my age. That was interesting. I don't know. I'm gonna say 8. Again, things probably will be moved around at the end, like I said, but right now, it's going at an 8. The Man with the Umbrella at number 8. Next up. To Ambiguous Meat. Gotta love TV dinners. Am I right, college students? I never went to college, I wouldn't. Episode 4, Stick to the Team. This one was good. A third of the way through watching this episode, I was like, alright, I already have to make some arrangements to this list. Because episode 4 was good. More elaboration on the C plot. I'm calling it the C plot because the A plot is Squid Game. B plot, in my opinion, is the detective. And then the C plot would be like the organ selling because it's only there for a brief period. But more elaboration on the C plot. You know, ones that aren't fully dead after execution. They get their organs sold. Why do I say Seld? I remember I said Seld in an older video. You know, the main character of the most Seld game in all of history. And then I just said Seld now. Sold. Sold. Episode 4, we definitely get to see more evolution of Gi-hun, showing how he's evolving into becoming a better person, forgiving Sang-woo for not knowing what the game was, and being the only one to stand up and scream, bro, this dude just died, this ain't right, while everyone else is just quiet as hell. I wasn't being very specific about that scene. I was talking about where Gyeoksu literally kills a dude over a soda bottle. Okay, thank you, bye. Now that we kind of got the whole detective's MO and we're more into the story, definitely the scenes with the detective are more tense than ever. Bro literally got caught last episode. If it wasn't for the superior getting shot in the head, that entire investigation would have ended there. More parallels. This was already shown, but it's more upfront now that the coffins are presents. And we get a little scene behind the scenes with the masked guy pushing buttons and such, and they literally are like arcade looking buttons, symbolizing how these suffering people, it's all just for entertainment. That is some good ambiguous meat. During that whole horrible strobe light fight, notice how Ali is mostly defending people, holding the beam so people don't get hurt, waving the beam around, defending the entire group, while Sang-woo is more attacking people and on the offensive side, symbolizing Ali being more of a sweetheart and Sang-woo being more of a cutthroat kind of guy. I also haven't talked about Sae-byuk a lot. They're like my favorite character. She's awesome. I mean, there's not really anything to say. She is my new sister now. I declare it with this mashed potato. Love it. This is America. Mashed potatoes. What am I talking about? Also, I like how this scene can be interpreted in two different ways with Il-nam pleading for everyone to stop. It could either be like they had a code like, hey, once I start crying, turn off the games. Or this completely could have caught him off guard. I doubt it because, you know, he's been here for a while. But he joined just to get that sense of glee from the games. And maybe he didn't realize, oh damn, I could be killed in between the rounds, candid. And that would be it for me. So that pleading was actually real. And he was like, bruh, I didn't think about this. Please stop. Everyone's gonna die. I also think they did the strobe light effect very well. I saw a couple people debating whether or not it was the right choice or not. I think it was perfectly timed. I think it was perfectly timed in that you were literally getting as much information at the same time as the people in the show were. At some points you could make out people like, okay, he's there. Oh, he's running up on her. And other times you're like, I don't know what's happening. I just sense blood and screaming and chaos. It was really, really well done, especially in certain parts and fights where you need to see what's happening. The strobe light automatically turns on, like when Ali held the beam for Gi-hun. Like, that was perfectly timed. I think it was great. Another detail that the old man was behind all of it, yet another game that they play that he played and mastered as a child. Very coincidental, huh? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to move stuff around. Right now, I'm gonna have to put it at number 3. All right, stick to the team at number 3. Let's go, next up. Here in my eye. Episode 5, boys. What was this one called? A Fair World. That's right. This episode definitely had like episode 3 vibes. There's not a lot that really happened with our main cast, more so the B plot with the detective. We got our first mentions and appearances of a VIP. Gi-hun's PTSD flashback of the riot. I like this scene a lot. He really cared about those people. Yet we also know that at the same time, he could have been there for his daughter's birth, forwarding this whole notion that he is a good guy. He's just not fit to be a parent at all. This entire show has a secret build-up plot, which I'll get into later, but it's amazing. This episode definitely took time to have our main characters interact and bond with each other. Not as much as the next episode though, but that's coming. And if you're really paying attention, you can see where the show was gonna go with Sang-woo and Ali having their little bonding moment, ramping up to the inevitable betrayal, and Se-byuk and Gi-hun bonding, ramping up that bond, that friendship. There's like more evidence of this old man every single episode. There's more evidence because the files started with records of player number 2, not player number 1. They didn't have any records on player number 1 because that's the old man. And more evidence that the man in the black rhombus mask is the detective's brother. Stuff happened, but I definitely feel like this one blends more into the season than a lot of the other episodes. I don't know whether to put it at number 7 or number 9. For now, it's gonna go at a 7. Oh, also, we get to dive more into the man in the black rhombus mask's mindset about how everything is fair, which is really not true, and there definitely is more discrimination happening outside in the real world. I can't argue with that. But these little minute details that happen in the games really do cost lives, so it's not really that fair. At least not as much as this dude's selling. A Fair World at number 7. Let's continue. God damn, this episode. Horrible. The worst. Episode 6. Gganbu. We see more evolution of Gi-hun being a nicer person, letting Sang-woo and Ali be partners, which coincidentally, him being nice led to probably being alive, because Sang-woo probably would have used his wits to betray Gi-hun. Again, more evidence of the old man being behind it all, with Marbles was a game he played as a child, and it just so happens to be a game in this competition, as well as the whole set being modeled around his childhood home. Great psychological torment. I'm like near hour 7 of recording this. This is probably my longest. Sang-woo and Ali's situation in this episode reflect their entire personality and character throughout the entire season. With Sang-woo being nice at first and helping Ali learn the game, only to get bitter because he started losing and ended up betraying Ali. And Ali admitting vulnerability that he doesn't know, and overall rightfully winning, and letting his optimistic ignorance get in the way, which cost him his life. Something that this show does exceptionally is pacing. An example of this is Se-byuk getting her cold heart thawed out by Ji-young just in time for Se-byuk to need to open up and be more friendly towards Gi-hun for the finale and stuff. We learn why Ji-young didn't like the religious guy. We learn more about Se-byuk's past. These poor people being taken advantage of by rich people and being killed only for entertainment. That's definitely happening. I'm not denying that at all. I just don't think it's on the scale of Squid Game. But yeah, no, this shit that's happening in the show is happening in real life. And we just gotta live with that. Anyways, back onto the list. So for the former half, we have spots 1 and 2 left. And it's not on the latter half. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, we don't get a lot of detective scenes in this episode. I'm saying episode 2. Gganbu or Nabu at number 2. Let's keep going. Episode 7, VIPs. Now this one is interesting. This episode, we definitely see Sang-woo fully embrace that kind of sick mindset that probably most of us would have. Our first, like, official introduction of all the VIPs. If you know what the EPR is, it's a global little group called the where they just have the best of times doing the worst of things. And you know, this is just something that happens that we cannot change. We got the inevitable death of Gusty from Han Min-yeon, is that her name? Which I saw coming as soon as she said, I'll kill you if you betray me. But even though I saw coming, like, I wanted it to happen. That was probably, like, the most badass way an annoying person could go out. The detective's story in this episode was definitely the most interesting it has ever been so far, with the highest of stakes. And this game, this whole episode is just the most blatant contradiction that we've had in the show of fairness. The game basically is just all up to chance. The front man, I used to call him the man and the black man, as well as the front man just turning down the lights because the dude who actually did have a leg up was winning. And the glass shattering, inadvertently killing Se-byuk, like, blatant unfairness. Pretty okay episode. I definitely think it's on the latter half, and the only spots I have are 6 and 9. So let's go down to 9. No, I did not misspell VIPs. Anyways, VIPs going at number 9. Let's keep going. Episode 8. Frontman. This episode throws you into an immediate sense of urgency with the detective running and trying to find somewhere to hide on a remote island somewhere. Starts off with Gi-hun and Sung-woo just completely on opposite sides now. There ain't no room for friendship in that duo anymore, and it perfectly sets up the end of the episode. I know that the triangle dinner is an actual painting. I know that. The way I saw it, this has like major Last Supper vibes. Even though I believe the Last Supper, it was a round table and they were all sitting like that, but the painting is like this long table where they're all sitting on one side for some reason. As close as can be, while in Squid Game, they are on opposite sides of each other, all looking straight at each other. A lot more hostile environment. I found a really interesting detail while rewatching this episode when Frontman reveals that he's Inho, the detective's brother. But the scene kind of reflects the front man's whole perspective on fairness. The detective shot his brother in the shoulder, right, as a warning. Even though I don't know why he did that because he only had 1 bullet left. And notice how the front man also shot his brother in the shoulder as well. But the thing that differs is, yes, you can technically say this is fair because they were both shot in the shoulder. One was definitely guaranteed to die. A shot anywhere on him would have pushed the detective off the cliff to die. I mean, probably not in real life. In real life, he probably would have curled forward. That was a little close, sorry. But I mean, it's a show, so he's like, ugh. Yeah, you can still kind of be fair, but like, it's not really fair. There are other factors and shit. A little shorter episode. Definitely a calm before the storm type of thing. And of course, Gi-hun creating a commotion long enough for Sang-woo just to sneak over to Se-byuk and kill her. Also, Gi-hun couldn't even promise Se-byuk's dying wish to take care of her brother after she died. That's not cool. Frontman going at number 6. Frontman going at number 6, which leaves spot number 1 at One Lucky Day. Season finale. Right off the bat, I saw Gi-hun's blind range to beat up Sang-woo instead of actually finishing the game was foreshadowed in the first episode when Gi-hun was blindly angry at the businessman and almost slapped him instead of getting him his 10,000 won. The horse racing analogy got me when I first watched it. I was like, of course, as I already stated all the evidence in the past episode, the old man finally fessed up about how he was behind it all. I don't know if I really agree with this reasoning. I would rather be bored of the world and insanely rich than bored of the world and poor. I feel like that's not even a comparison. Yeah, I would absolutely choose the route where I can just, fly on a private jet whenever I want to. The final scene. Gi-hun not going on the plane and instead going back to, I guess, dismantle Squid Game. So I stated this before and now I can kind of divulge in it now. There was the A, B, and C plot, but there was a complete secret plot throughout this entire show showing the evolution of Gi-hun's personality, becoming a better person in every aspect, and even listens to Se-byuk not to kill Sang-woo in his sleep, even though that led to Se-byuk's death. Right at the end, willing to leave without having a single penny. And then finally, finding out that the Squid Game is back up again next year. And he has the opportunity to see his daughter. He has the opportunity to make that relationship right. But instead, he literally turns his back on his daughter. Oh my god. This one action itself completely shows his entire character. Say it with me. Good person does not equal good parent. Some people were annoyed with that choice. Here's what I think. Yeah, obviously, it's probably the wrong move for him, but like, Season 2. Season 2, what can I say? But alas, final step. I will now revitalize this entire list and move things around. Things are definitely going to be moved around. It's all going to be off camera, but I will show you the final list now. Okay, I finally revitalized everything, and it's time for the final listing. Number 9, A Fair World. This one had a lot of plots in it that I think kind of came to an end. The entire organ selling plot was cut short here. There was speculation of whether the brother was killed or not, and then it was like, nope, it was just a girl. Fine episode. Again, all these are great, but it's This one's pretty forgettable. Number 8, Frontman. This one might get controversy because, I mean, this is the episode where we find out that the frontman is the detective's brother. But I feel like it was really just like the calm before the storm. The shortest episode by far. And yeah, it was really just ramping up to the next one. Rest in peace, Sabiok. Number 7, The Man with the Umbrella. This one's just like your classic Squid Game episode. You got the game in there, you got the detective story, you got the front man, you got everything. No real protagonist died, nothing big really happened here, although you got to see a little bit of Gihan's cleverness come into play. Oh my god, it's dark out. Number 6, VIPs. Introduction to VIPs. This whole vibe was really cool. Just the kind of sad exception that this does happen in real life and there's nothing we can really do about it. These monopolies have gone too big to even fail now. So where do we go from here if not full anarchy? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. First one in top 5, Red Light, Green Light. The first episode that sprung out the entire season. We get to meet all of our protagonists, we get to meet the bad guys, we get to meet the premise, and that doll. Woo! Number 4, Stick to the Team. One of the most gruesome scenes in this entire show. Just the horrible realization that everyone in the episode and just watching the episode like, oh, these guys are gonna kill each other. We are our own worst enemies, so of course we're gonna commit murder against each other because we're scared. First one in the top 3, Hell. I moved this one up a couple spaces just because I really thought about it. All these other episode titles are normal and somewhat playful-like. This one's just called Hell. I mean, this episode alone has so many WTF moments. The biggest one, of course, being the old man voting no. You get to see these people's lives, their struggles, their hardships, and you understand why every single one comes back. Number 2, Gganbu. The one that all pulled at our heartstrings. The one episode to kill so many protagonists. It was this show's Red Wedding, complete with the soundtrack and the imagery of not showing the old man die. Amazing episode. Number 1, save it for the season finale, One Lucky Day. Finding out that the old man was behind it all. That last decision made by Gihan, rolling right into season 2, rocking the red hair like a Shirley Temple. All these episodes are really good, and that was my ranking for every Squid Game episode. If you disagree, say it in the comments or make your own video. If you do in the comments, I will say how you are absolutely wrong. I'm just kidding, I won't do that, only in my head. If you like this ranking video, I have another one where I rank Montero. I mentioned it a couple times in this video. If you like this video and just want to see more of my videos, go subscribe. You know, it's free. Best invention is making this a subscription the best. Thank you for watching. Subscribe. My name is Gusty, and how is this a squid? Oh my god, I have to pee. My bladder is busted. I'm done.